Hello everybody and welcome to the 7th C tutorial. I said 6th last it's the 6th last time and I said 5th, but never mind that, I think I did. So it is the 7th C tutorial and today we will be studying the dreaded pointer. And the reason I say it's a dreaded pointer, when I've selected it, is because these are apparently notoriously hard to understand, but I'm going to try and explain them. Whether I fail or not is down to you. So we're going to just declare our main and everything like before. Everything like that. And we're going to create a variable. Now, so if you remember correctly, what we did originally was what I did in the last, I think it was the scanf tutorial, is I gave a basic explanation of what pointers are. This is going to be further in depth. So what a pointer is if you imagine your memory in your computer as one of the longest roads on earth, and every single byte is a house or a apartment or a flat if you're English. So imagine your memory as a block of flats, say, and every individual flat in that house, in that block rather, is represented by a single address, as you'd imagine. Now, every single one, this is how memory works, because every single byte in your memory that you are on, your computer, has a separate memory space. So it has a separate address. If you're interested on what it's generally encoded in, it's always in binary, but it's often displayed as hexadecimal in errors. Like if you ever have Windows XP play up on you, or you've seen a blue screen of death, you'll have seen OX followed by a certain number. Now that is basically hexadecimal. So let's show you. So we've declared our integer derp, and now we're going to declare something called a pointer. So what this does is that this is the declaration for a pointer. You put any of the data types I declared, including that void that I showed you in tutorial 4 functions. You should be watching these in series, by the way, because otherwise you will die, because you won't be able to understand things. Believe me, I've been through this. And what it does... Now I forgot what I was talking about after going on that tangent. Yeah, so we're talking about that. So what this does... So void, even, you can use void, as discussed in before, and what this acts as a pointer to our number. So what we can do is we can send this up. Note the ampersand is exactly like in our scanf. So what we can do now is we can access derp remotely through derp point, not scrap. Scanf. I'm going off on a tangent now. So what we're going to do here, what we can do here, is we can use derp point here, and what this will do is since this pointer points to derp, it's effectively like putting in the ampersand followed by the derp, except in ways it could be a lot more useful, such as in functions, which I'll get onto in a later tutorial, probably not the next one. Yeah, definitely not the next one. So maybe the one after that. So what this does is it essentially reads from this pointer, finds the address in here, because this is, if we remember, a pointer is just holds the address. I should have explained that earlier. This holds the address that's on the apartment number or on your block of memory. So this here holds the address of derp, and that's how this is able to be accessed. So what this will do is essentially just read derp. So we can, just to prove to you, I'm going to printf original value, so that should be 1, 2, 3, unless something disastrous goes wrong. And we can printf down here, cgd/n, and that will prove that our thing has worked. So it should be whatever the user says. But just to show you exactly what a pointer is, what we can do is we can printf our pointer. Now you might remember I made a mistake in the last tutorial, and it works the same way. So you put the point in there, and it will print the address in theory. Now, so let's say you're using a pointer and you want to see the actual value that you're pointing to. So all you do is you add the ampersand to the end and go derp point, or whatever your variable's called, because this is called a pointer dereference, which means it doesn't use the reference, it uses the literal value stored in the place in memory. So what this will do is it will display whatever the user's typed in there. So that's essentially it. I assume that there'll probably be a lot of people in the comments asking questions, so go ahead and ask questions as always. Also, I haven't read source code yet because I'm posting this at exactly the same time. You can tell from the date. So obviously, don't expect me to be announcing winners for the next month or so. Well, for the next 3 months, I said earlier. But I think I'll do it at the end of the month anyway because I don't want to forget. So let's get this compiled. I didn't use a function note, but that's for another tutorial because it can get very interesting what happens with them. I'm gonna call that pointer. Hopefully I haven't got any errors. Nope. I'm gonna pointer. And we're gonna type our number, so that's just proof that it has got 1, 2, 3. So we're gonna call it 4, 5, 6, and that's what we printed. That proves that our pointer was pointing to this because that modified 4, 5, 6 in there, and that prints out derp instead of derp out point. This is our address in something called a decimal or base 10 way. You can output hexadecimal numbers as well. I believe it's by %h. You can go and research it if you like. And again here, it will output our number, I believe. Oh, don't want to do that. I wanted to actually read the source code. Yes, it does. That's the dereferencer that we mentioned. So, thank you all for watching. And stay tuned because I am still making tutorials. Don't worry, I've just made 3 in the last hour or so because I memorised this stuff quite well, and you will too. I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I have, and thank you for watching.